So today I'm here with Miss Azmira from Forensic Pharmacies in HKL. So today we'll be discussing about what is pharmaceutical forensic science, and what is actually a forensic pharmacist do. So Miss Azmira, can you explain more on pharmaceutical forensic science?
Actually, pharmaceutical forensics is the application of test methods in order to investigate non-conformance issues within the pharmaceutical industry itself. And we usually utilize test methods that are typical in forensic sciences, such as HPLC, GCMS, and LCMS.
How is pharmaceutical forensics utilized in the industry? Can you give me some examples?
The example would be dealing with contamination and quality assurance of a pharmaceutical products, especially if it's a medicine. And there may always be issue like discoloration or contaminant that is introduced to the product during the manufacturing process. So we can test the presence of foreign particulate and identify what sources they come from, and then come up with a corrective measure.
So what type of the analytical methods that you use for testing?
There's a wide range of analytical testing methods that are used in pharmaceutical forensics, and there are standardized forensic testing methods, for example like FTIR or infrared spectroscopy for the organic substances. And once we have identified the material, then only the next step in a forensic investigation, where we will compare the material with a reference standard.
Okay, can you explain the difference between forensic pharmacists and forensic scientists?
A forensic pharmacist's job is slightly different than a forensic scientist's duties, because a forensic pharmacist specifically applies the science of drugs to legal matters. Forensic pharmacists have expert skills in evaluating drug-related evidence. Besides, forensic pharmacists spend much of their time researching, testing, and analyzing drug-related evidence as part of the criminal justice system. Forensic pharmacists usually test blood samples, examine human tissue, and assess drug interactions to determine how drugs were connected to death or any criminal activities such as murder.
Oh yeah, I also heard before that police department hire forensic pharmacists to work as criminologists, examining drug-related evidence and criminal behavior.
Yes, for example, in cases where the cause of death is unknown, forensic pharmacists often assess a victim's medical records, legal and illegal drug habits, prescription medication history, as well as lifestyle habits in order to determine if drugs were influential in person's death. One drug alone might not cause death, but a combination of drugs might lead to fatality. So forensic pharmacists will study on how the drugs interact with each other. Some of the death cases might be caused by drug overdose. For example, in high-profile celebrity death, like Michael Jackson death, it's due to meperidine overdose, the painkiller.
So what else does a forensic pharmacist do?
Forensic pharmacists will also do research on hazardous drug combinations, as well as the human body's response towards the drugs.
So why do you think a pharmacist play an important role in this field?
I think that a pharmacist play an important role in this field because supposedly we have a strong educational background, especially on pharmacokinetics of the drug. So it is one of the expertise that we have in order to analyze drug-related evidence. And a forensic pharmacist's findings actually is very important, and it's usually being used by the pathologists and the medical doctors who perform autopsies.
I think that's all for today. I hope we all can have a better understanding about what we discussed today. Thank you, Miss, for your sharing.
Thank you for having me here.
Okay, thank you. Till we meet next time. Bye.